Hello, this is Michel Leviathan Sorbet and you are watching a new episode of Wojennik TV. There are some war games which are called monster games. Those games are huge ones with a lot of counters, with a long time of play, with a lot of components, with very complicated rules. And this is one of the reasons why so many gamers, so many people who do not play war games think of war games as of things extremely complicated, complex, with huge amounts of components. It's true when it comes to a part of our hobby. Of course, on the other hand, we have a lot of light war games which can be easily played in 1-2 hours, so even faster than in certain cases when it comes to Euro games. But today I would like to show you a huge war game, a big war game, one of those monsters which are the most famous in the wargaming society. It's a game which was and still is subject to a verification by the Guinness Book of Records when it comes to the biggest board game ever published. This game is World in Flames. That's the Collector's Edition Deluxe, printed in 2017. As you can see, this box is huge. It's the biggest box that I have ever seen when it comes to a wargame, and it's the most heavy one also. This box is 10 kilograms, pesos 10 kilograms, so weighs 10 kilograms. So it's just like a big animal or like a big baby which you are carrying on your hands. It's very, very heavy. Now in this box we will find a lot of components. We will find more than 4,000 counters. We will find map boards depicting the entire planet, because this game is meant to represent World War II in a global scale. The game was first published in 1985 by the Australian design group, and back in 2017 it was once more reprinted as a Deluxe Collector's Edition. So inside we will find also mounted boards. This game should be just gorgeous. We will take a look at all those components, both counters and maps, all the additional stuff inside this box during this unboxing. The game was created by two designers, by Greg Pinder and by Harry Rowland. It's meant to be played from 2 to 6 players, and the time of play is between 1 and 150 hours. It all depends on the campaign, on the scenario which we decide to play. Some of them will be short scenarios, will be short games, others will be monster scenarios using a lot of counters, using a lot of maps, and during a longer period of time. Now let's take a look at the components enclosed in World in Flames Collector's Deluxe Edition. I'm very eager to find out how they look like. Here is once again the huge box of World in Flames Deluxe Collector's Edition. Additionally, with the box we do receive an additional counter sheet. It's the counter sheet number 55, with additional counters which can be used during gameplay. Those counters include both units as well as some production markers, some planes, some armor units. So they are additional counters which can be used during certain scenarios. The box itself is very elegant. It has a nice cover with a nice picture on it. The name of the game is very well centered. It's very well accented. Additionally, we have the information about the designing company, and then we have also an information that this is a game which will enable us to play all World War II thanks to its global scale. On the second side of the box we receive information concerning concerning what is the list of all the components enclosed in the box, but I won't be reading this. I'll just open the box in a moment. Then we have some ratings. First of all, we can receive the information that the game scope is global. The complexity of the game is moderate. If we use the Deluxe edition with all the rules, it's high. It's highly suitable for solitaire play. It's playable up to 6 players, and the minimum age of a player is 12 years. Then we have also the information that the game has won some awards during the history. For instance, it became the best 20th century game back in 1986. Now let's take a look at the components, how those counter sheets and maps look like. First of all, we receive a protection layer, which I will take out from the box, and then we receive rules. The rule book coming with some additional charts. As you can see, it's huge. It's composed of, I believe, 3 different documents. Maybe the first one are the rules, the second one will be maybe scenarios, and the third part will be additional charts used during gameplay. I will take a look at this in a few moments. Then we receive 4 additional expansions added to this Collector's Deluxe Edition. We receive, first of all, the Ships in Flames expansion, then the Divisions in Flames, Planes in Flames, and Territories in Flames. Each of those expansions comes with a lot of counters, for instance 400 or 1800 counters. Those expansions allow us to explore some additional territories. So for instance, Ships in Flames will increase the amount of units and chrome when it concerns to naval warfare. Then we have also Planes in Flames and 2 additional nice expansions. Here we can see how those counters will look like. So we have a nice example of how detailed they are. As you can see, we have a great quality drawings, great quality pictures on each counter. Those counters are well centered. The information on them is well displayed, so I very much like the way they have been done. This is of course only one of those counter sheets. Look at the amount of those counter sheets only when it comes to the expansions. We will also add basic counters, which are right here. First of all, we receive also 2 10-sided dice, some bags where we will be able to storage those counters, and classic counters, so those which will be used during gameplay if using only the base game without the expansions. Here we receive 1600 full color counters representing armies, navies and air forces. For instance, Japanese units, as you can see, with NATO symbols, but also with pictures of units when it comes to planes or when it comes to sea units. Those counters are colored, when it comes to the expansions, well centered. I really like the way they were done. Then we receive something very heavy, and those will be the maps. The map set enclosed in this great pile comprises maps. First of all, 4 large full-color hard mountain maps of the world: a West European map and African map, an East Europe and Middle East map, an Asia map and the Pacific, and additionally 1 full-color hard-mounted map of the Americas and 1 full-color hard-mounted turn record track, which includes the production circle. Those maps are very heavy. As you can see, they are just enormous. I will open them in a moment. Then we receive also additional information concerning those 4 expansions which are added to this collector's edition. So Ships in Flames, Divisions in Flames, Planes in Flames and Territories in Flames. Here, first of all, we have a short description about this expansion and additionally a list of all those counters enclosed in those expansions. So we can take a brief look at what we receive, what types of units we receive in each expansion. So that's it when it comes to the components. Now I will take a look at both the counters, the rules and the maps. So first of all, here are the rules. The rule book, as you can see, is quite a long one, but what to expect if the game is such heavy, is such complex. We have 95 or 96 pages when it comes to the rules. The rule book is, as you can see, quite heavy when it comes to the quantity of rules. But we do receive also some additional charts inside. We receive also some examples, some pictures. I like the fact that the game comes with a colored rule book. Some war games come with black and white rule books. It's much more pleasant to read a rule book if we have some colors inside. A lot of reading awaits me. Then we have some charts inside. First of all, for instance, a weather chart, additionally a weather chart. So we receive some huge charts concerning weather, concerning entry options. Those charts are double-sided, so we have also naval combat, land combat, blitzkrieg table, air combat, a lot of different tables, and we receive 6 examples, 6 tables. I believe 6 of them should be here. I see 5 of them. Each one can be used by one of the players which will be playing the game. So each player can receive his own chart. Then the campaign and player's guide, in which what will we find? Let's take a look. First of all, we have the campaign information, so how to set up a game, how to choose your game, which side to choose, how lay out the maps, how cut out the counters, how to sort out the counters. That's a thing which will be very interesting, how to set up all the information and all the components. And then we have some scenarios. As you can see, they are divided into scenarios using only one map, and then 2, 4 map and World in Flames series campaigns. I believe those will be the most complicated. What is interesting is that we can play also scenarios which are set after World War II, in a hypothetical world where the conflict still is on in 1948. This document, as you can see, is also a colored document with a lot of charts, with a lot of information about how to set up each and every scenario which can be played in this monster game. In order to play this game, we will need the counters, and here are the classic counters enclosed in the box. So here we can take a look at some Japanese counters. Those counters are of course double-sided, so each unit will have, as I believe, 2 or more steps. Then we receive German counters, which will be grey, with some infantry units, with some panzer units, with air units, also with some naval units. For instance, we receive some destroyers, but also the mighty Bismarck, or even the aircraft carriers Graf Zeppelin, and the second one Peter Streisser. I cannot see Tirpitz, however. That's sad, because I'm a huge fan of the Tirpitz battleship, but maybe he's somewhere alongside additional counters, for instance, in one of the expansions. Then we have Bulgarians, Slovakians, some additional counters. Then we have the Commonwealth forces, then the USSR, France, USA, the USA. So as you can see, the most important counters. Here we receive also some communist Chinese units. So every major belligerent will be present in this game. And then at last we have the maps. And the maps are the real reason why this edition is so heavy, why its weight is 10 kilograms. So first of all, we receive the production circle. It is, as you can see, a cardboard map, a mounted board with some additional charts, with also the production circle. Then the first of the maps, which will represent the Americas, Canada, the USA, Mexico, and the South America. Also with some spaces when it comes to ocean, when it comes to the oceans, both the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, where we will have some spaces where units will be placed. Many information on those maps, and so we will have some different spaces where we have different types of terrain, with some ports, with some cities, with some mining or production centers. The other maps are bigger, and they are also mounted, very big, of a very high quality. Here we have, for instance, Western Europe and a part of Africa. So as you can see, those maps are very detailed, very well done, very nice to look at, and I believe they will be very functional because the terrain types used, the terrain types presented on the maps are very different one from another. There shouldn't be any problem when it comes to determining line of sight or determining rules of movement. So this is the first of many maps that we received. The additional ones, as I said earlier, represent different parts of the world. Here we will have Sakhalin, we will have also the Japanese home islands, etc., etc. I won't be showing every map now, but as you can see, all of them are just gorgeous. They are of a high quality, they look very nice, they will be very pleasant to use. And that's it when it comes to the components enclosed in this huge box of World in Flames Collector's Edition Deluxe. Now let's take also a short break, and I would like to end this movie with a short conclusion. When I received the box of World in Flames Deluxe Collector's Edition, I was absolutely thrilled. I was eager to open it, I was eager to find out how those components look like. And now, after doing so, I must say that I am very pleased. I very much appreciated what I have seen. Both the counters and the maps look just fantastic. I like the way that all those components have been done. They are really of a very high quality. Looking at the maps just makes me want to lay them down and to play my first game. What may seem hard to do is browsing through the rules, but I believe that I will be needing only a part of them if I want to play a shorter scenario. The same thing concerns the counters. We receive so many counters that at first it seems very overwhelming, but I believe that it's a question of how we organize them and then how we decide to store them. I believe I will find a solution not to get lost in all those on those counters. I am eager to try the game, so I will try to read the rules in the weeks to come and to play it. I believe I won't be jumping into a campaign at first sight, because I do not want to disappear for the next 6 months, but I will surely try a shorter scenario in order to find out how the basic mechanisms of the game work. Then maybe a longer game. I'm eager to try all the expansions, so I believe that in the months to come, World in Flames will regularly land on my table. This was the unboxing of the huge box of World in Flames Deluxe Collector's Edition from the Australian design group. Take a look at our other materials on our website. Take a look also at our Facebook, Instagram and Twitter accounts. Have a great day and see you next time.